Well, I was 3 years old when I got into acting, so at that point in my life, it was about, I wanted to be the little girl to brush Barbie's hair.
Michelle Trachtenberg grew up in front of the cameras, going from child star to Hollywood staple, with roles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, EuroTrip, and Gossip Girl. But behind the success, there were hidden struggles. And now, new details about her final days are surfacing, and they paint a heartbreaking picture. Despite her talent, Hollywood slowly stopped calling, and the transition from beloved teen actress to adult star wasn't as smooth as it seemed. She had fought to keep her career alive, but behind closed doors, she was battling far more than just fading fame. What really happened in Michelle Trachtenberg's last days? And why are these new leaks causing concern? Let's take a closer look at the tragic twist that led to this shocking development. Michelle Trachtenberg's tragic true life story. Michelle Trachtenberg spent her entire life in front of the cameras, evolving from a child star to a Hollywood fixture. She gained recognition through memorable roles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, EuroTrip, and Gossip Girl. But behind the fame, her journey was filled with struggles that remained hidden from the public eye. Now, new details about her final days have surfaced, painting a heartbreaking picture. Hollywood once embraced Trachtenberg, but as she grew older, the roles became scarce. She fought to keep her career alive, yet the transition from teen actress to adult star was far more difficult than it appeared. While fans saw glimpses of her talent in scattered projects, she faced battles behind closed doors that had nothing to do with fading fame. What really happened in Michelle Trachtenberg's last days? And why have recent leaks raised concerns? To understand the tragic twist that led to this moment, it is important to look back at her life, from the early years of stardom to the struggles that followed. Trachtenberg made her first television appearance at just 3 years old, in a commercial for Whisk detergent. Over time, she became a familiar face in more than 100 commercials. She soon transitioned to television, landing a role in Law & Order, before gaining recognition on Nickelodeon's The Adventures of Pete and Pete. During the same period, she also played Lily Montgomery on the soap opera All My Children. Her film career began in 1996, when she starred in Harriet the Spy. Taking the lead role required her to leave The Adventures of Pete and Pete before its third season ended, marking her first major career sacrifice for a bigger opportunity. She continued landing roles, starring in the short-lived series Mego, which earned her a Young Artist Award. By 1999, she returned to film with a role in Inspector Gadget and later starred in Cannot Be Heaven. Her breakthrough came in 2000 when she joined the cast of Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Dawn Summers, the younger sister of the title character. This role catapulted her into mainstream fame. She later hosted the Discovery Kids series Truth or Scare from 2001 to 2003, earning a Daytime Emmy nomination for her work. Not every child star successfully transitions into an adult career, but Trachtenberg managed to find work beyond her early success. She continued acting, taking on roles in television and film, and even tried her hand at producing. But despite her persistence, Hollywood no longer called as often as it once had. Behind the scenes, she struggled to get the projects she cared about off the ground. She wanted to take control of her career and expand her creative influence. But finding support for her ideas proved challenging. The industry that had once embraced her now seemed indifferent, and she had to fight for opportunities that once came easily: bullying and early hardships. Before she became a recognizable name in Hollywood, Trachtenberg endured a difficult childhood. While acting opened doors to incredible opportunities, it also made her a target. At school, her classmates singled her out and bullied her for being the girl on television. What started as teasing soon escalated into something far worse. She spoke openly about the torment she endured, revealing that other kids physically attacked her. Some threw her downstairs, while others slammed her into lockers. leaving her with scars that never fully faded. These experiences left a deep impact, shaping how she viewed the world and influencing the way she connected with her fans. As an adult, she used her platform to speak about bullying, determined to let others know they were not alone. Through social media, she shared encouraging messages and called out people who spread negativity. She frequently expressed gratitude to the few teachers who supported her during those difficult years, acknowledging their kindness in helping her navigate the pain. Trachtenberg's journey as a child star brought her into the spotlight at an early age, and while she found success, it came with significant challenges. The pressure to remain relevant in Hollywood never faded, and as she grew older, finding meaningful roles became more difficult. The industry that once saw her as a fresh talent now seemed to overlook her. For years, she worked to prove herself, taking on roles that showcased her versatility. She knew she had more to offer than just the characters she played in her youth. But despite her best efforts, the offers slowed, and she struggled to secure the kind of roles that would allow her to grow as an actress. She refused to let the challenges break her spirit, but the weight of constantly proving herself took a toll. The industry's expectations, combined with the lingering impact of her early experiences, created an uphill battle that never seemed to end. Michelle Trachtenberg's complicated experience on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Michelle Trachtenberg became a household name after joining Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Dawn Summers, the younger sister of Buffy. Although her character did not exist in the first 4 seasons, the writers crafted a backstory that made her an essential part of the show's mythology. The role helped propel Trachtenberg's career to new heights and introduced her to lifelong friends, including Sarah Michelle Gellar. But while Buffy gave Trachtenberg one of her most iconic roles, not every part of her experience on set was positive. Behind the scenes, she faced challenges that would later come to light, ones that made her time on the show far more complicated than fans ever realized. The uncomfortable reality behind the scenes. At first glance, working on Buffy the Vampire Slayer seemed like a dream opportunity. The show had already built a passionate fan base, and stepping into such a major role gave Trachtenberg the chance to work alongside well-established stars. However, the environment behind the scenes was not as welcoming as it appeared. Joss Whedon, the creator of Buffy, had earned widespread acclaim for his work on the show, as well as for later projects like Firefly and The Avengers. For years, he enjoyed a strong reputation in Hollywood. But in recent times, several actors who worked under him have spoken out about troubling experiences on his sets. As more of these stories emerged, Trachtenberg joined the conversation. In February 2021, she supported Sarah Michelle Gellar's public response to the controversies surrounding Whedon. Trachtenberg hinted at her own difficult experiences by revealing that a rule had been put in place to prevent Whedon from being alone with her. She chose not to provide further details, but her brief statement suggested that her time on Buffy was not as smooth as it seemed. Even though she remained professional and kept her focus on the work, the tension behind the scenes added an uncomfortable layer to what should have been an exciting career milestone: the backlash against Dawn Summers. Landing a major role on a hit show can transform an actor's career overnight, but it can also invite unexpected challenges. For Trachtenberg, joining Buffy the Vampire Slayer came with a unique hurdle. Many fans simply didn't like her character. The writers gave Dawn a magical backstory to explain her sudden appearance in the show's 5th season. While the storyline made sense within the show's mythology, it completely changed the dynamic of the series. Not everyone welcomed the shift. Dawn was supposed to be a typical teenager struggling with sibling issues, but many fans found her constant bickering with Buffy irritating. Her attitude toward everything happening around her frustrated viewers, and some believe her presence nearly ruined the show. Decades after Buffy ended, fans still debated Dawn's character online, venting about how much they disliked her. While many viewers were vocal about their frustrations with Dawn, others acknowledged that Trachtenberg played the role well. Even those who disliked the characters admitted that she brought the right level of youthful energy and had great chemistry with Sarah Michelle Gellar. Unfortunately, playing a character that people love to hate is not always easy, especially when criticism follows an actor long after the role ends. Despite the backlash, Trachtenberg's time on Buffy solidified her place in Hollywood. She went on to appear in major projects, proving that even when a role comes with challenges, it can still open doors. The painful reality of Ice Princess. In 2005, Trachtenberg starred in Ice Princess, a film that required her to take on an entirely new skill, figure skating. She played Casey Carlisle, a young woman who puts aside her Harvard ambitions after rediscovering a passion for skating. Rather than relying entirely on stunt doubles, Trachtenberg took the challenge seriously and learned how to perform many of the intricate moves her character mastered throughout the film. The experience, however, came with a cost. While training and filming, she sustained multiple injuries. She tore ligaments, dislocated a knee, and suffered other minor but painful setbacks. Despite the difficulties, she remained determined to get through the production. She later reflected on the experience, saying that while the injuries sounded severe, they were common among athletes. Even with the physical toll, she picked up the skating techniques quickly and considered herself fortunate by the time the film wrapped. If she had ever pursued a career in professional skating, she believed she would have faced even worse injuries along the way. The missed opportunity in Twilight. Trachtenberg's career almost took a dramatic turn when she came close to landing the lead role in Twilight. Having spent years surrounded by vampires on the set of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she nearly returned to the supernatural genre when casting for Twilight began. Her connection with director Catherine Hardwicke gave her a real shot at the role. The two had met years earlier when Hardwicke was working on her debut film, 13. Trachtenberg had even considered starring in that film, but scheduling conflicts with Buffy prevented it from happening. When Twilight entered development, there was industry buzz about Trachtenberg possibly taking on the lead role of Bella Swan. She later acknowledged that there had been discussions and interest, joking that there were not many pale actresses in Hollywood at the time. However, the role ultimately went to Kristen Stewart, who went on to achieve massive fame through the franchise. Although Twilight became a global phenomenon, Trachtenberg did not dwell on the missed opportunity. She already had her place in vampire history thanks to Buffy, and she did not feel the need to chase another supernatural role. The show that never took off. Beyond acting, Trachtenberg explored opportunities behind the camera, taking on roles as an executive producer. She worked on Guidance in 2016 and later produced and hosted the true crime series Meet, Marry, Murder in 2021. These projects marked a new chapter in her career, but they also helped make up for an earlier disappointment, one that could have been a defining moment in her career. In 2010, while still playing Georgina Sparks on Gossip Girl, she developed an original television concept. The CW network, impressed with her performance on Gossip Girl, supported her idea and greenlit a pilot. The show followed a criminology student who used her complex past to profile suspects, blending crime and psychological drama. Trachtenberg had the opportunity to produce alongside television veterans Stephanie Savage and Josh Schwartz, with Stuart Zickerman writing the pilot. The project had the potential to establish her as both a creative force and a leading actress in a new genre. Despite the network's initial enthusiasm, pilot never made it to series. The CW ultimately passed on the project, and the idea faded away, never making it to the small screen. It was a disappointing setback, especially for Trachtenberg, who had put significant effort into developing the concept. Passion for writing that never took off. Trachtenberg's creative ambitions extended far beyond acting. She had always admired great storytelling, and after years in Hollywood, she wanted to create her own. She joined the Writers Guild of America, successfully selling multiple original scripts. At first, it seemed like a promising new chapter in her career. she found inspiration in her past, particularly her breakout role in Harriet the Spy. She once described her Hollywood life as feeling like a grown-up version of Harriet's world, always observing, always thinking of new stories to tell. But despite selling scripts, none of her projects ever made it to television or film. Much like her failed CW show, her writing career never reached an audience. Whether she planned to keep pursuing writing remains unclear, but Hollywood's tendency to sideline once prominent actors likely made the transition even harder. A devastating loss that shook her. Even after spending decades in Hollywood, Trachtenberg remained a fan of the industry. She admired actors, writers, and musicians who inspired her, and over the years she formed friendships with some of them. But being in that world also meant dealing with heartbreaking losses. One of the most painful came in 2017 when her close friend Nick Ackerman passed away. Ackerman was the bassist for the indie rock band The Virgins, which gained fame in the late 2000s. The band had already broken up when he died, but his passing still sent shockwaves through the music world and through Trachtenberg's life. She had spoken with Ackerman just weeks before he died, unaware that it would be their last conversation. In a rare moment of personal vulnerability, she took to Instagram to share her grief. She admitted that she did not usually post about heartbreak, but losing Ackerman was different. She regretted not having the chance to tell him she loved him one more time. A lifetime of accidents and injuries. Trachtenberg's time on Ice Princess proved how far she was willing to go for a role. But skating injuries were just the beginning. Long after filming wrapped, she remained accident-prone, constantly finding herself in situations that led to painful setbacks. In 2011, she revealed that she had gone to the emergency room for an injury that required a splint, alarming fans. Not long after, she cut her arm on a glass vase, forcing her to wear a sling for photo shoots. Her bad luck continued in 2019 when she broke her ankle, spending months in a medical boot. By the end of the year, she celebrated her recovery, hoping to put her injuries behind her. But just 3 years later, she broke her ankle again. This time, she posted a photo of the damage on Instagram, making light of the situation despite the obvious pain. The very next day, she showed off her new crutch, proving that even after repeated injuries, she found ways to move forward. A film career that never took off, many television stars struggled to transition to the big screen, and Trachtenberg was no exception. She had already built a solid career in television before she joined Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but after the show ended, she aimed to expand into film. At first, it seemed promising. She took roles in a variety of movies, hoping to prove she could thrive in different genres. But most of the films she chose failed to make an impact. Critics panned the majority of her movies, leaving her with a collection of projects that earned poor ratings. The one exception was Mysterious Skin, a 2004 drama directed by Greg Araki and starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. The film received widespread praise, standing out as the best-reviewed movie of her career. But despite that success, she never found another film that earned the same level of critical acclaim. Her struggles extended to television as well. While Buffy, Gossip Girl, and The Adventures of Pete and Pete maintained strong fan bases, many of her other TV roles failed to leave a mark. Some of the shows she joined were unpopular, while others featured her in brief, forgettable roles. No matter how hard she tried, she could not recapture the success she had in her early career. Enduring harassment in the public eye, Trachtenberg spent years dealing with online harassment, a struggle that only intensified as social media became more prominent. Like many women in Hollywood, she received an endless stream of cruel messages, with critics targeting everything from her looks to her career choices. She often fought back, refusing to let the negativity silence her. She called out those who told her to change her appearance, particularly men who insisted she should smile more. She reminded her followers that strength came from embracing who you were, not from conforming to others' expectations. Despite her resilience, the harassment never truly stopped. Sometimes she stepped away from social media to escape the toxicity, but she always returned, refusing to let the hate define her. In her later years, rumors about her appearance took on a crueler tone. Online critics speculated about her weight loss, accusing her of struggling with a bad eating habit or substance addiction. The speculation became so relentless that she addressed it directly, posting a makeup-free selfie and assuring fans that she was happy and healthy. Even then, the comments did not stop. Some insisted she had undergone cosmetic surgery, while others continued spreading baseless health rumors. She pushed back, shutting down the speculation and reminding people that her body was not up for debate. Her final days and tragic passing. In early 2024, fans became increasingly concerned about her health. Her apparent weight loss and signs of jaundice led to speculation, forcing her to once again address the rumors. She reassured her followers that she was doing well, but behind the scenes, her condition was far more serious than she let on. At some point before her death, she underwent a liver transplant, a detail that did not emerge until after she passed away. Despite the procedure, she continued to decline. On the morning of February 26, 2025, her mother found her unresponsive in her Manhattan apartment. Emergency responders arrived but could not revive her. She was pronounced dead at 39 years old. Authorities quickly confirmed that her death was not being treated as suspicious. The following day, the New York Office of Chief Medical Examiner ruled both the cause and manner of death as undetermined. Trachtenberg's family objected to an autopsy for religious reasons. Since there was no sign of foul play, the medical examiner honored their request, leaving her cause of death officially unknown. Her passing sent shockwaves through Hollywood and among her fans. Rosie O'Donnell, her Harriet the Spy co-star, shared an emotional tribute, revealing that Trachtenberg had struggled in her final years. She expressed regret that she had not been able to help her more. Journalists noted that the response to her death was particularly intense. Slate writer Heather Schwedel pointed out that Trachtenberg's young age, scandal-free personal life, and connection to nostalgic, cult favorite shows made her passing especially heartbreaking for those who had grown up watching her. All right, so that's it for this video. And if you want to watch more amazing content like this, check out some of our other videos. Bye.